Welcome to Toffee TV. It is the player ratings. Newcastle 0, Everton 1. A fine victory at St James's Park to leave Everton on 48 points for the season. Exactly what we got last season, obviously without the with the point deductions. But just on that, I just wanted to start by talking about the player ratings, but just certainly on the manager. The manager's points tally alone this season that he's earned would have kept us in the Premier League. That's how good a job he has done at coming back to Everton Football Club. I think everybody knows, or certainly everyone supports him and believes he's done a brilliant job. And I think not only has it got to be applauded, the job he's done and what he's done for this team, because Everton probably would have stayed up. The bottom three are dreadful. And Everton would have eked out the points to have got us away from them. But it would have been nervy. It would have been negative. Last week, would have last week have been the same? Who knows? I'm sure, who knows? But he's given the club the ability to put some foundations in, to give something to move on from. Whereas Sean Dyche, whether he would have stayed, he would have left the club, so it would all be starting again, wouldn't it? Who knows? Who knows where we would have, what the situation would be with Kevin Felwell and David Moyes coming in has done the job, and also whilst doing the job, he started preparing Everton for next season. And listen, not everybody likes the situation. Not everyone is happy with David Moyes having maybe so much power at the football club. But in many ways, he's earned that right. Certainly in the short term, certainly in putting Everton back into a position where they can prepare for next season. Where maybe if it hadn't happened, I'm sure we would have survived just by the quality of those other three teams in the second half of the season. But we'd probably be here now talking about how rushed the summer was going to be and how we couldn't be prepared for the summer, and how we were still not prepared for the next part. Whereas I think we are prepared. I think we are a lot more prepared for next season. I think we're a lot more ready to go. And I think the 31 points is brilliant, absolutely brilliant. I think people are looking at Everton now and not seeing us as, the away record on its own is being absolutely brilliant. We go into games like the Fulham game, like the Newcastle game, like the Nottingham Forest game, and we've got a plan. We've got an idea of what we want to do, and no one panics, and it's up to the team to pull that off. And the manager has got a few, he's got substitutes ready to come in when things are not always going right. So he has done a brilliant job, and I think that I don't think anyone will be losing sight of that, but certainly that has to be looked upon. His points tally would have kept Everton in the Premier League. That's from where you think, when you remember where we were when he came into the club, that's incredible. That's incredible that he's moved us up to that position. We finished 13th. We finished 5 points, I think, behind Palace, who rightfully finished 12th. That is their designated place in the Premier League. They rightfully have kept that position forever and a day. Doesn't matter how good they are, doesn't matter how bad they are, Palace will always finish 12th by the looks of it. So he's done a brilliant job. I think it's something like I think it's 4 teams have only picked up more points. So he's done a brilliant job. So couldn't not start the player ratings by talking about that. Apparently Newcastle have lost the same amount of games that we've lost this season. So if we could convert some of those draws into wins, then who knows where we could end up. No one's sitting here thinking, oh, we could be in the Champions League places next season. But it does show you the fine margins. It really does. And if you can get in 2 or 3 real quality players, and you approach the season in a much more positive manner, because that's what done for Sean Dyche this season. That's what done for him. Is negativity done for him. Him believing that 17th was some kind of unbelievable achievement. And that says more about him as a football person than anything, in my eyes. That's what he thinks succeeding is. That's what he thinks succeeding is at any club. But at Everton, no chance. And Everton no Evertonians celebrating finishing 13th. Everton fans are just excited for what could come because of the points we've picked up under David Moyes in 2025. So brilliant half of the season for David Moyes, and he deserves all the plaudits he gets. And let's see what happens. Let's see what happens next. Let's see what happens next. Let's get into the player ratings. Jordan Pickford made 6 saves today, according to the stats. If you put any stock on them, he prevented 2.15 goals today. That's quite good. That is quite good. He's had a really good game today at Newcastle. And I didn't see too many people in dinosaur suits today. That annoyed me slightly. But what a weekend for him. He's seen his boyhood club, Sunderland, get promoted to the Premier League, which is great because it means Newcastle can finally have a rival and stop coming to us for a rivalry. And he has gone up to Newcastle on the last day of the season and got a clean sheet and seen his captain the team to a 1-0 win. The only disappointing part is that Newcastle squeaked into the Champions League places. So Jordan Pickford, I would give a 9 for today. Ashley Young in his last ever performance for Everton, 90 minutes, and was solid. Was solid as far as I'm concerned. 3 tackles, 1 interception, won 7 of his 9 ground duels. Anthony Gordon had to be taken off at half time because he couldn't get the better of him. And there you go. There you go. It's a real shame that we're not keeping Ashley Young. Sorry, I've run out of water. As anyone knows who's watching the last stream knows, I've run out of water, so a little soother in there. 7 out of 9 ground duels. Anthony Gordon had to be taken off. Really good display today. And as I said, it's a pity he's leaving Everton, but he can leave with his head held high. I know not every single person maybe thought it was a good signing when he came, but I imagine most Evertonians will be applauding him because he was an ideal professional to have in the club once he settled down. So excellent stuff from Ashley Young. I would give him a 7.5 for today's performance. Just the fact that Anthony Gordon had to go off, that's the best bit, isn't it? That is the best bit. Vitaly Mykolenko on the other side got himself an assist, 3 clearances, one out of his 2 ground duels. Only 2 ground duels all day. Again, really consistent. Great to see him get an assist. I think that's the 2nd assist, isn't it? and he's finished the last couple of away games with a goal and an assist. Improved massively since David Moyes came into the team. Has played further and further up the pitch. Again, brilliant to see. Nearly could have had an assist earlier on from the same connection, putting the ball in for Alcaraz again. But really, really solid today from Vitaly Mykolenko. So I would give him a 7.5 as well. 2 centre-backs. Jake O'Brien, I think this was actually his best game as a centre-back for Everton. Obviously done really well at right-back. But I think as a centre-back, I think he was brilliant today. Really, really strong. Really didn't let anything bother him. You know, when they've got when you see the front players they've got, really calm. Just done his job. Went about his job brilliantly. 2 out of 2 ground duels, won 3 out of his 5 aerial duels. Don't forget, this was a player who wasn't good enough because he didn't have Premier League experience. And now he's just gone up to St James's Park on the last game of the season, playing alongside Michael Keane, a partnership that hasn't been used before, to start a Premier League game, and got a clean sheet. So brilliant from him, and brilliant from Michael Keane as well today. We'll come on to in a moment. So Jake O'Brien has come on leaps and bounds since David Moyes came in. So I would give him a 7.5 as well. And Michael Keane, again, probably building off the confidence of the Fulham game. Come in, done the job. Ground duels won 1 out of 1. Only 1 out of 3 aerial duels won today, but again, really, really calm. Using that experience, won the battles he needed to win. 86% pass accuracy. 2 out of 3 accurate long balls. And just went about his game quietly, but really effectively today. So, sorry, now and again, I just have to throw it around my mouth to lubricate my throat. So Michael Keane, solid. 7.5 for Michael Keane as well. Into midfield, James Garner. Had a really good stinger of a shot in the first half. Had another opportunity second half with a header, I think. Was fine today. Fine. Absolutely fine. 86% pass accuracy. Won 4 out of 4 ground duels. Didn't win either of his aerial duels. Steady. I'd like to see James Garner next season tested by having more midfielders in there to push him on. We'll wait and see if it happens or not. But I thought Everton won the midfield battle today for the most part. I really did. I thought they won the midfield. And when you look at Newcastle's midfield, and I think that's their strongest part of the pitch, I thought it was. I thought James Garner done really well. Picked up a booking as well, but I think he's got that all-round experience now in the Premier League. But as I said, I'd really like to see him. I'd really like to see him pushed next season for that position to make him better. Simple as that. To make him better. It's James Garner. I would give a 7 for today. Nah, let's make it a 7.5. 7.5. Jason Garner Gay picked up at yellow. It was a great yellow card, to be fair. Snapped him in half. 82% pass accuracy. Just seemed to be everywhere again today. I think he played that ball as well, didn't he? Down to Mykolenko for the Alcaraz chance in the first half. It was a really good ball. 4 out of 9 ground duels won. So not quite 50%. But he's just, for me, he's a player. Long balls, 3 out of 4. He's just a player for me that I just don't want to lose. Just don't want to lose him. I think Everton have obviously offered him a contract, and hopefully it's what he wants. Unless it's some kind I can only see him moving if it's more of a lifestyle thing. Like he's ready to pack up his bags and move to Saudi or something. But there was ripplings of him offered a couple of weeks ago. But, you know, he's still got young kids. You know, do you want to move them out of the schooling and all that kind of thing? I don't know. That's up for him to decide. But I would be devastated if he left, to be honest. I still think he's got at least a year in him in the first team. While you bring someone else in and bed them into the squad. He does seem to love it here. And there aren't like really noises that he's going to leave, but who knows? I can't speak for him, so who knows? But really, really hope he stays. Really, really do. Such an important player for us. So I would give Adesanya a 7 for today. Jack Harrison on the right. Difficult game for him. He hasn't got a stick in him, has he? So it's difficult for him. He hasn't got the pace, so it's difficult for him. I don't think he offered that much today. Worked hard. Only won 2 out of 6 ground duels. Works hard, covers the space. In fact, I can't get his heat map up, but his heat map is a big red blob within our half. So protecting Ashley Young. Don't think he'll stay at Everton unless I can't see Leeds allowing us to have him again on loan. Now that they're back in the Premier League, I just can't see it happening. They'll look to sell him if they don't want to keep him himself. Maybe there was an opportunity to keep him on loan. Moyes might. So, but I just don't think he'll be in Everton playing next season. But he's just not got the pace, and he's just not got a trick that separates him from other players. In fact, there's long in a lot of games you just don't see Jack Harrison do much, really, if anything. So, Jack Harrison, I'd give a 6. And as I said, I can't see him staying at Everton Football Club, if I'm honest. Iliman and Jai showed some absolutely gorgeous tricks. There was one, do you know what I didn't even mention before? We should have had a penalty, in my opinion. We should have had a penalty. But the build up to that goal, the run, so difficult to take off the ball. Just the tricks. There's a few times during the games, he can't be. At times, he just can't be moved off the ball. He's just so good. His ability to keep the ball in tight space is absolutely fantastic. And his work rate's just fantastic. And as I said, someone Jack Harrison on the other side. I think if on the other side, right, we need pace, we need genuine pace, direct pace. And on the left, or in number 10, we've got Njai. Don't think till last week we'd seen anything out of him since he come back from injury. The injury really, really hurt him. But I thought today just little flashes. I think he went off with an injury in the end. They just kicked lumps out of him. But some of the dribbles were just fantastic. Won 9 of his 10 ground duels, by the way, as well. 9 out of 10. Why is he even having 10 ground duels? And he's won 9 of them. That's how hard he works. Dribble attempts, 4. 3 successful. He's just such a good footballer. And hopefully next season we can build on it. Score more goals. And get more assists. Because I think that's the only That's the only sort of not negative, but that's the thing he has to add to his game, getting more assists. I don't think he's got many this season. I'm eating a cough thing, so my throat is. I'm not like just eating. I've just explained before. I've got a cough sweet in my mouth because of my throat. So I'm not being like ignorant and eating while I'm keeping my throat lubricated because I've run out of water. So anyway, yeah, just needs to add assists. That's it. But a brilliant player. A brilliant player. That's okay. Anyway, so yeah, I would give Iliman Jai a 7.7 for today's performance. And in the middle, Charlie Alcaraz, the goal scorer, started the game a little bit slow, but then picked up. Defensively, his numbers are abysmal. 1 out of 5 ground duels won, 1 out of 3 aerial duels. But you know what? That's not what he's in the team for. What he's in the team for is to float behind the striker and to do exactly what he did today. Accurate passes, 100%, 15 out of 15. He had the header in the first half. He had 4 shots on target and 1 shot off target. Again, that's brilliant. That's exactly what you want from him. He had the header in the first half, which the keeper saved, and it was a great header. But obviously, he's got the winning goal, and it's just a lovely header. It's a great ball in, and he's pulled into space, and it's a great header. And it's got us to 3 points, and we just have to get him signed, in my eyes now. I think there was a little bit of maybe, not trepidation, but I think a few people were sort of, after the start he had, which was fantastic, I think there was a little bit of, I think people just calmed down a little bit on it. And he wasn't playing games because obviously the clause in the contract. But I think now everyone can see it. The last couple of games, it is a Jakeman suite. That's exactly what it is. A Jakeman's. It's a red one, although I prefer the black ones, but I've run out of the black ones. There you go. There's your proof right there. If you work for Jakeman's, does anyone work for Jakeman's? Look, send me a Jakeman. Send me one. Boss. It just keeps my throat nice and lubricated. It's not like hair or anything. It's just slowly closing over. And then you want to cough, don't you? So, Jakeman's a boss. Anyone who works for Jakeman's, send me some sweets. Anyway. Now, get this Alcaraz deal done. Get it over the line this week. You know, don't... I've sat in those summers. Kevin Campbell. Remember that one? Agonising over when it was going to be done. Even though he was actually training with Everton, but like Everton couldn't show that. Arteta. That was another bad one. Arteta and people putting stories out that Liverpool were bidding for him and all this. That was another one. Pina. That was another one. Just not nice. So, if Everton could just get this done, like this week, that would really, really help. I don't know. I don't think there's anything else to think about now, personally. I think for the money, for 15 million tops, just get it done. Get us that player. And let's have that one secured. Lad loves it here. Evertonians love him. Give him a better number because I hate 24. That's just like a terrible number. Have I tried CBD gummies? No, I haven't, but I've tried. What are they called? Don't know. The other ones that help you sleep, but it's not CBD. It's what's it called? Melatonin. They are good. Yeah, let's get him signed. Carlos Alcaraz, 8 for today. Good stuff. And finally, Beto. Well, finally for the outfield players. Beto. No shots on target, 2 shots off target. The header in the first half should have done better, and he had one late on, didn't he? 1-0. At 1-0, he should have scored. In fact, I'd expect him to score. But I do think his work rate and his hold-up play. Not that there was any question about his work rate, but I think he works smarter now, not harder. I think he's starting to learn. There was a thing today saying he was playing with too much anger. And we all remember that smashing the ground and all that. Like it was like he was so desperate to be in the team. I think he's calmed down a bit now and had the assurances that he'll get opportunities, which he didn't used to get. Desperate for his chance, and I think he's calmed down a bit now. But he should have scored today. But his back to goal stuff has got a hell of a lot better recently, and I said on the other video, means that match reaction, how much they must have been working with him to get him to that position. So, really, really has improved, and he's coming on. And yeah, I wasn't sure. Obviously, wasn't sure what we were going to do. Whether we were going to. For me, I just think we should keep him now. He scored the goals. He's improving, and who knows with a pre-season and more time with David Moyes and coaches they could do with him. You know, David Moyes has referenced that fact that his age and stuff like that, but he scores goals. He's a handful, and if he believes that Everton will give him an opportunity, then he'll take those opportunities, I think. So, Beto, I'll give a 7.5 for today's performance. Fair play to him. But he has improved loads. Because he used to be terrible. I don't think anyone can argue with that. He used to be terrible. But they obviously didn't put any work into him. They obviously didn't. I think me and Baz spoke about this a few times. It was like, it didn't seem like anyone had done any kind of work with him at all. They were just letting him go from game to game. And he wasn't improving. And Moyes had to grab hold of him, knowing that, how long Don was out for. And Beto stepped up to the plate. So, he's had a brilliant second half of the season, Beto. Fans love him. Yeah, let's see what happens next season with him. Let's see what they do with him. But got a hell of a lot better. And as I said in the last video, it's not rocket science, is it? Sean Dyche had 2 coaches. And I'm not even going to attempt their names today. Moyes has got like 5. So he can work on more and more individual stuff. So players are going to improve. Whereas the last fella never even tried. And then he bemoaned all excuses and we didn't have this and we didn't have that. Well, why didn't you bring more coaches in? Why didn't you just widen your coaching staff so you could work with the players and improve them? Absolute nonsense. What did I give Beto? 7.5. Yeah. Subs. Dwight McNeil came on, did all right. Accurate pass was 5 out of 500%. He was all right. He was fine. 6.5. The Corey came on. He had two passes, and both of them were accurate. 100%. When's that ever happened for Abdoulaye Doucouré? Very emotional at the end. Obviously, his last game in an Everton shirt. That's his choice. He made that choice. Everton obviously didn't give him the offer he wanted. I don't know whether that's almost like a thing of like, I deserve what I get, so therefore I deserve what I want, and I'm not gonna change on that. He might regret that. He might regret not signing. Alan Stubbs did. But people always do that, don't they? People always make decisions. Only afterwards can you come back and go, it didn't work out. That's just life, innit? Everyone makes those decisions. We'll wait and see. But that was his last game, and yeah. He's had a decent, not an amazing, he's had a decent Everton career, scored some big goals, and we'll see what happens to him next. See where he goes. Maybe he'll stay in the Premier League. Maybe someone like Leeds has offered him a contract. I don't know. Or maybe he'll just go and get a big fat paycheck in Saudi Arabia. Whatever happens, good character, good person. And that's it. The core 6.5. And then Dom, who missed an absolute worldly of a chance. Put it round the side, the goalies. Of the goalie. Yeah, it was a bad miss, wasn't it? Bad miss. What did he play? Last 9 minutes. Came on right at the end, didn't he? I don't know. How was the 6 minutes injury time, by the way? Where did that come from? Nonsense. Dom 6. Only made 3 subs. Felt like I made more subs. Yeah. There you go. That's it. The last player ratings of the season. We'll do more stuff. Well, we'll do all that end of season stuff. Not this week. The following week. When Baz is back from his holiday. We'll do it all then. Once all the dust settles and everything, we'll look back at the season. On and all the stuff that we thought was going to happen before the season and all that kind of stuff. We'll have a little look at that. But great performance today. Great 3 points. 48 points. Who'd have thought we'd be finishing on 48 points? When David Moyes came in. And we got beat by Burnley that week. Bournemouth. When we didn't even try and score. We didn't even try and score, did we? So, yeah, there we go. Last player ratings of the season. It's been emotional. Yeah, there you go. Baz isn't doing any videos because he didn't even watch the game. So make sure you like this video, share this video, and I will be back on Tuesday when we'll be live, and then we'll be doing the final word and everything. So, yeah, get out there, get out to the city as fast as you can. All these Norwegians over here, wrecking the gaff. There you go. I've run out of sweets and I've run out of water, and I'm going to have to go. So, there you go. Right. Thank you, everyone, for watching. Thank you for a interesting season. A very, very interesting season. Half good, half bad. Yeah. Hopefully next season it's all good. It's all good. It won't be, but it might be. Let's hope it is as we go to our new stadium, right? Okay, see you all. I'm expecting you all to be here on Tuesday because if we get all the news tomorrow, then Tuesday we'll have a big chat about it. So I will see you all on Tuesday. Catch you all later. Bye.